WASSCE 2026 for private candidates. This is Core Mathematics paper 2, question 4. So in the diagram, G, D, and F are points on the circle. Now the center of this circle is located at point A. Line CE, this straight line, is a tangent to the circle at point D. Now we've been given the measures of two angles. Now the first one is angle DGE, the angle located at point G. The measure is 51 degrees. And then finally, we've also been given the measure of angle AFG. Angle AFG, the angle at point F, measuring 38 degrees. Now our goal here is to calculate the measure of angle, so the A part, angle CEG. Angle CEG. So angle CEG is formed from the meeting point of two lines, that is line CE and line EG. So where is line CE? This is line CE and this is line EG. So the angle at point E, I'm naming the angle at point E as X. So anytime we mention angle X, we are making reference to angle CEG. So how do we calculate for angle X? Now, when you take a closer look at the diagram, you could see that there is a particular triangle. That is triangle GDE. We are looking at this particular triangle. This one. Sorry, this is not drawn to scale. So here is E. Here is D. And then here is G. Now the angle at point E, we've already named it as angle X. Now what is the angle at point G? That is 51 degrees. So the only thing missing here is the angle at point D. Once we know the angle at point D, we should be able to calculate for X. So we know the angle at G. We've named the angle at E as X. What is missing is the angle located at point D, this side. So let's calculate the measure of angle D. Now, we know that the center of the circle is located at point A. So if A is the center of the circle, what name is given to line AD? That is the line that joins the center to a point on the circumference. So this line here is nothing but the radius of the circle. So that is the radius of the circle. Line AD represents the radius of the circle. Again, line AF is also the radius of the circle. Now, what is the relationship between line AD, which is the radius of the circle, and then line CE, which is a tangent to the circle at point D? Recall that a tangent is a straight line that touches the circle at one point. We know that from angle properties of a circle, a radius and a tangent always meet at right angle. Please, let's take note. The radius and the tangent will always meet at right angle. That is 90 degrees. So the angle at this part of point D measures 90 degrees. Now the only thing left is this small angle. So once we know the measure of this small angle, we could just calculate the value of X. So what is left now is this small angle, the measure of this small angle. I'm naming this angle as y. So let's try to find the measure of angle y. So now we have an invincible line, that is a line that joins point F to point D. Let me redraw it again. A line that joins point F to point D. So what name is given to this line? So there is a chord. So there is a chord. Now you could see that this chord here is subtending two angles. Now the first one, the chord is subtending an angle at the center and at the same time an angle at the circumference. And recall this property, which says that the angles a chord subtend at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. So you could see that the chord DF is creating two angles, one at the center and then one at the circumference. What we are saying is that the angle at the center is twice as big as the angle at the circumference. So I'm naming the angle at the center, that is the other side of the center, this side. I'm naming that angle as angle A. So that is small a. Let me use this one. I'm naming it as angle A, small e. So if that's the case, we can say that angle A is twice the angle at the circumference. So let's put down something. Angle A is 2 times the angle at the circumference. And what is 2 by 51? That is 102 degrees. Remember to write down the property. That is the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. So we now know the measure of this angle, which is A. Now let's also calculate the measure of this part of the center, that is capital A. So there is a point, there is a point, and then around this point we have two angles. There is a point, we have two angles, that is bigger A and then smaller a. And we know that angle around the point sum up to 360 degrees. So we can say that bigger A plus smaller a should be equal to 360 degrees. That is angles around the point. Angles around a point, they sum up to 360 degrees. So let's solve for big A. Let's solve for big A. So big A plus small a. Small a measures 102, and this should be equal to 360 degrees. So big A is equal to 360 minus 102. So big A is equal to 360 minus 102. 258 degrees. We are left with one more thing. So you could also see that we have a four-sided polygon. I'm drawing the four-sided polygon. We have a four-sided polygon. This is the center A. Here is 51 degrees. Here is 38 degrees. And then we are looking for this small y. So what is the sum of the interior angles of a polygon with four sides? Now recall that the sum of the interior angles of any polygon is given by the formula n minus 2 multiplying 180 degrees. Now this polygon has four sides. So when we plug in 4, we have 4 minus 2 by 180. So 2 by 180. This gives us 360 degrees. So it means that the sum of the interior angles of this polygon should be 360 degrees. So if that's the case, we can write down our equation. That is 51 degrees, this angle, plus the second angle, 38 degrees, plus the angle at the center, that is big A, plus y should be equal to 360 degrees. So 51 plus 38 plus big A. The measure of big A is 258 plus y is equal to 360. 51 plus 38 plus 258, 347. 347 plus y is equal to 360. So y is equal to 360 minus 347. So y is 13. Y measures 13 degrees. So now all is set. We should be able to calculate for x. Should be able to calculate for x by making reference to one particular triangle. So which triangle? From triangle. So we are making reference from triangle GDE. Triangle GDE. Because it is a triangle, we know that the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So we are looking at this triangle. So the first interior angle is 51 degrees plus the other interior angle x plus the angle at point D. Now the angle at point D, we have two different angles. Now the first one is y and the second one is 90 degrees. That is the angle between the radius and the tangent. 90 degrees, and this must be equal to 180 degrees because it is a triangle. So we have 51 plus x plus y is 13 plus 90 should be equal to 180. So we have x plus 51 plus 13 plus 90. 51 plus 13 plus 90. 154 this should be equal to 180. So x is equal to 180 minus 154. So what is x? 180 minus 154, 26 degrees. But we were asked to find A, the measure of angle CEG. So angle CEG is 26 degrees. Now the B part. The B part says we should find the measure of angle CDG. Where is angle CDG? CDG. Angle CDG. So the other part of angle D, this side, I'm naming this angle as M. So this is a straight line, and we know that the sum of all the angles on a straight line is 180 degrees. So if that's the case, it means that angle M plus angle Y plus 90 degrees must be equal to 180 degrees. But what is M? That is what we are looking for. What is Y? Y is 13 plus 90 should be equal to 180. So we have M as 180 minus 13 minus 90. So M is equal to 180 minus 13 minus 90. 77 degrees. But again, we are asked to find the measure of angle CDG. So that is 77 degrees. Thank you.